Well, hi there everyone, and welcome back to Feed the Beast Monster, where I am back on top of this tree off to the side of the castle, because I have finished it. Now last time I think I told you this was going to be the east gate, it is going to be the south gate, you can tell because that must be west, so I don't know which way I'm facing. But you can see I'm just going to fly up what it has turned out like. I've built this little tower here, up just a little bit, and I've finished off that causeway. Let's just go down to the bottom so we can go up from the base of it. You may remember I was building it out with a filler and I put it out a long way. Well, it came out to that block there, so it was actually almost the perfect length. The path sort of just disappears off into the jungle somewhere over there. To civilization, I'll let whoever lives out there build up to me. But here is the south causeway up to the south tower. Let's just go on up it. You can see it comes up to here to the side of the castle. And up here into what I think is probably the guard tower. Now, just like on my front gate, I need a proper gate on it. I've done it exactly the same way with Tinker's Mech Works drawbridges. And an iron gate goes up. You can then come up here, past all these vines, bit of illumination around, and you come into the side of the castle at the side entrance down there. So I think that all looks really rather nice. The moon is just coming up the little lake got left in down there. So I'm not unhappy with that. It was a lot of work. It is still a lot of grey blocks, but most of this castle is, to be honest. But that's not too bad. You can see there is also on this side a second line of defence. A second door. I just really like those. So let's just fly up from here to get one last overview. That should be the castle completely completed. Superb. Now then, let's get back to what we were actually doing last time, which was in here. We were making solar panels. Okay, so let's go down into the base of the factory because we have a bit of a problem, and the problem is here. Now these are the two cyclic assemblers. You might remember that I was using these in order to make solar arrays. This one makes low voltage, this one makes medium voltage. Now the reason I'm using the cyclic assemblers rather than the auto work tables are these low voltage transformers. Now these things don't stack, and these auto work tables don't work with things that don't stack. Now I came up with a cunning plan, which was that there are, 18 slots in here. So I thought that I would only make 16 of these transformers. Okay, so that way this would never fill up. Now what I forgot was, of course, that once these transformers have been exported into the machine, they're not in the ME system anymore. That means that the ME system doesn't see them and it keeps making them. So I should now probably have, I've put another crafting terminal in here by the way, just to keep things interesting and easy. As you can see, another low voltage transformer. Another 16 even. It's made an extra 16 after it filled this up. Now, of course, now the cyclic assembler won't work because it's not getting any solar panels in, which is what it needs, and we've backed up with 98 solar panels stuck in the system. So obviously this system just doesn't work. So I need to find a better one, so let's get these out of the way. And this will create a huge mess on the floor when I take this out. And I might even be able to get down there and dig some of it up. Come on. Oh, I bet I've got a full inventory, haven't I? Full of low voltage transformers. Actually, can I easily pop them into my little bag? Probably so. There we go, all my low voltage transformers in there. Okay, so what I want to do now then is put these up against a wall, because that should work a little bit better. And I shall, I guess, come in this way, something like this. Bit of a wiggly route in, but that doesn't really matter. And we don't need an ME cable going that way anymore because that's all finished with. I can note, if you like, that this one has done exactly the same with the medium voltage. There is a medium voltage array in there, which is handy. Right, do I have any hardened energy conduit? I do, so let's pull this out this way. Not all the way down there, but do I have a bit of cobble just to pop in there? I do. There we go, so we can now pop it in there. Is that far enough over that it won't interfere? Yes, it is. Just pop the cyclic assembler back down on top of it. Okay, so how are we going to do this? Because what I need to do, hopefully, obviously, is I need to pop in 8 solar arrays for every low voltage transformer it puts in. So I've got to find a way to do that. Now, I could conceivably do that using a Computercraft turtle or something. I could just make it pop things in, but I didn't really want to use that. I've used enough turtles this series. So I'm going for a different way. Let's pop an export bus on this side, and let's pop an export bus. Do I have another one? That's import. Is that export? That is export as well. I think one of these is the export for the medium voltage and those. Okay, so this one is going to put low voltage transformers in. And this one is going to put in solar panels, which I need to grab from out of here. Okay, so we can import solar panels one side and the transformers from the other. Now, before I have shown you this, this means that it's only active when it gets a redstone signal. That's how we've been using these. There is another way to use these, active once per pulse. That means every time you send a pulse into this, it will export one item. If I put a button on top of it, pressed it once, it would put one low voltage transformer in. Make sense? So what I just have to do is find a way of pressing a button once on this side for every 8 on this side. Okay, so for this we're going to go into a fairly new mod. The mod is going to be called ProjectRed. It's the one that we got the lamps for, which we used in the clock. Along with all this other stuff, there is ProjectRed integration, which I don't know how it's going to be spelt. So let's just hop over to it. It is here. What it is basically is a set of logic circuits which you can make. They're all basically made from the same basic materials, which are cathodes, anodes, conductive plates, all these sorts of things. What they all are things like redstone torches and redstone on top of circuit plates, which is cooked stone. Now, I do believe I have made up some circuit plates already. I have 256 of them, as you can see. So that means I can start to make most of these things. So what I want, there are 3 basic things. There is the conductive plate, which is redstone on top of a circuit plate. So I want a stack of those. There is the cathode, which is a redstone torch on top of a circuit plate. Now, I don't think I have a lot of redstone torches. I don't. So let's just make up a stack of redstone torches. One stack of those, and we will make up just over a stack of cathodes. The other big one is the anode, which is this one. It is 4 pieces of redstone on 3 circuit plates. You get a load of those. Now, the one that I'm interested in is the timer. which might take a second to find. As you can see, there's a lot of these. They do a lot of interesting things, actually. Here is the timer. It needs one more thing, which is a pointer, which is circuit probe, circuit plate, redstone torch, and a piece of stone. So I have used up all of my redstone torches again, haven't I? But that doesn't matter. I can easily make up a stack of those and make up just a couple of pointers. Just like that. Now I can make this. This is a timer, and I'm going to make 2 of them. And I'm just going to show you what they do. Do they stack? They do. Get rid of those rubbish just to have a clean inventory. If I pop this on the floor somewhere, you can see how it works. We have an input and an output. Every time this thing spins round, it sends a signal to the output like a button press. So what this is doing, you can see there is a timer here. I don't know if you can read it. It says 200 milliseconds, 2 seconds. So every 2000 milliseconds, even 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds, this is sending a pulse out, and I can alter it to go to however long I want. It's now set to a huge range. As you can see, it will go around really slowly. So all that I need to do, dig this up and pop one of these pointing down at each of these. So we're now getting our pulses. This one, which is solar panels going every 2 seconds. If I set this one to go out every 16, then I will get 8 of those for 1 of those. Nice and easy. So how do you control how these things work? They work with a redstone signal, hopefully, obviously. If I stick a lever on the front of this and switch it on, you can see it stops the timer. So I just have to give it a signal to stop it, switch the signal off, and it will start working. So how am I going to do that? Because that to me seems sort of backwards. There is another gate which I'm going to use for that. I'm also going to fill this floor in so I don't have to keep jumping. Are there things there getting in the way? Apparently so. So right up at the top we have a NOT gate. A NOT gate basically reverses any signal it's given. It is just cathodes, anodes, the usual things. If I pop this down, you can see there is one input, lots of outputs. Because there's no input, all the outputs are on. If I switch the input on, all the outputs turn off. They're the opposite of what the input is. I'm hitting all of the wrong keys. Let's get that out and that out. So what I need now is just to pop down this NOT gate. Just like that. Now I need a way to connect these two together, and fortunately there are a huge variety of cabling in this. It is all here and it comes in all sorts of different colours so they won't link. It's all made up of red alloy ingot, which is made from red iron compound, which is redstone around an iron ingot. Now, have I actually made any of this stuff up? No, I have not. So let's make up a load of red iron compound. Just a stack of that will do. It's very easy to make, and just chuck it into a furnace just to cook through. Now to actually make the coloured wires, all you do is surround that stuff with wool and you get a load of wire, more than you need. So what colour wools do we have? We have white, red and blue. Now the walls are white and I think white might get lost, so I'm going to make them up in red and blue. So blue insulated wire. There you go, 12 blues. And can I make up some reds as well? 12 reds. So if I just pop this onto here and pop this onto here, you can see both the timers have now stopped, and I'm getting fed up falling in that hole as well. Plus I can clean out my inventory. There we go. You can see these have stopped. If I pop a lever up here, They will spin round. This one will output ideally 8 times, and this one will output just the once. So I can now just switch this on and have it work like that. Let me take this out, because we now need something, because I need this to effectively work for 16 seconds. What I want to do is have a signal, not just a lever, which flicks on, holds for 16 seconds, long enough for that to do once, that to do 8 times, and then switches off again. That way I can just press a button and import everything. Of course, there is a circuit which does exactly that. That circuit is called the, let me just find it, pulse former. No, wrong one. The state cell is what I need, the state cell. It holds a state for some time. Now this one's slightly awkward because it needs this infused silicon, which is a red silicon compound, which is silicon, which is a silicon boule, which is a load of sand surrounding a block of coal. These take a bit more time to make. I don't think I made any of these in advance. No, I didn't. So all that it is a coal block like that. I'll just make up a couple and sand. If I get... Let me just clear that out. I need a load of sand. I've got 30k sand, which is probably filling me up quite a bit. 2 coal blocks. I'll have to repair my sand gathering. I get 2 sandy compounds. Now to cut these, I need a saw. Hang on, do I need to actually cook those up first? I do, don't I? Pop these in here. That is still going. Pop them in this side. And you can see they're going to cook up into silicon boules. Okay? I want to cut those up into silicon compounds, which requires a diamond handsaw. This is the most awkward part of the entire thing. Is it called a handsaw? What are you called? Just a saw. A diamond saw. Won't get much look out of that. It is sticks, stone tool rods and diamond. Do I have any stone tool rods? No, it is just 2 pieces of cobblestone to make a couple though. And then I can make a diamond saw. Get my boules out. And if I just combine the 2 in my inventory, I get silicon. Okay, 16 pieces of silicon. Take my silicon, surround it with redstone, which again I have a lot of, and I'm going to get this red silicon compound. I'm not going to convert all of it because I don't know if I need any ordinary silicon. So let's go quickly back to ProjectRed. I think that is all I need to make these things. So it is a... I have lost it completely. Are these in a slightly different order? State cell. It is infused silicon, so I do just need to cook this up. There we go. That quickly cooks up. This goes back into here. And we will now be filling up with infused silicon, which means I should be able now to make one of these. I'll make up a couple, and I can now make up a state cell. As I was saying, state cells are quite simple. They have an input, an output, and a few other interesting bits that we will get to. But basically what happens is, if I click this on, you can see the output switches on. These only actually work however with a button press, so I'm going to switch that off again. You can see that turns around, it holds the on. Let me grab a button to show you better. Let me grab a bit of stone and make a button. I bet I can't. I'm going to need something here, am I, to pop that on. Now I assume that will work like that. There we go. So you can see having it on has switched it on and it is holding an output. Again, it's at 2 seconds. I'm going to set it up to 12. I push the button. The output switches on. It holds on for 12 seconds now while this spins round. When it spins round after the full 12 seconds, a pulse comes out this side and that side switches off. It's all very quick. But by doing that, we can make something which is going to hold the output for 16 seconds. So let's dig this out and pop it in. I'm going to actually pop it in back a bit because I might need a little bit of room. I'm going to connect this up. That uses blue, so this is where the red comes in. Onto here, as you can see. Set this up to 15 seconds. I hope you can read that. I think the texture pack makes it a bit dodgy. This will interact with that light, which might be a bit annoying. I might have to move things around a bit. So, well done me. Pop this here. So what I can now do is click this button. That will switch the output on, switch the NOT gate over, and switch these timers on. Like so. You can see, hopefully, why that not work. Is the lamp messing it up a little? Let's take the lamp out. I've got that in sideways. Why have I put that in sideways? I have genuinely got no idea. So if you put this in something approaching the right way, which way round do I want this? It can go in that way round. That's better. That's a terrible way round for later. Perhaps this way would make more sense. So now, when I switch this on, this set up to 16. That output switches on. That makes these spin round. This one will spin round 8 times and put 8 solar panels in. This one will spin around once and put in a single transformer. At that exact moment, that cuts out. This switches off and nothing else is put in. So I get the right number of pieces in is the idea. So that means this is semi-automated. Basically, I could come down here, whack a button and make a low voltage solar array. At least I will be able to when these two are connected up. Obviously, there is one more stage still to go because what I need to do is automate this with a level emitter, so what happens is rather than a button press, it detects if it has not enough solar panels and enough of all the parts, all the solar arrays and everything, because it would be silly to set it going if there were only 5 solar panels in the system. It wouldn't work. So if it detects that everything is alright, it will send a button press to this and the whole thing will start working. But that will be for next time. Thank you very much for watching this episode, guys. And I do very much hope to see you next time. Goodbye.